work early in the morning. Super Bowl team and now these haters salty.
Up, faithful, happy Wednesday. Welcome to IE Sports Radio. I'm Niners Jess, along with Ty Austin, Maddie B, and your girl Bex. We are the East Coast Red and Gold. What's up, guys?
What's going on? Good to see you all again.
All right.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
From the dark cellar.
All right. Well, before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe to us, the East Coast Red and Gold podcast on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Can't really argue with Jess there. Like, just per usual, 100% on board with exactly what she wants to do.
And grab yourself a snack and
look
subscribe.
Exactly
Hey,
what I would be looking for. And all of a sudden, I'm really hungry, and something that sounds really good right now would be some jerky. And what would sound great if the jerky was actually an entire planet, right? Like, picture a planet made of jerky. Right? Like, you're living on it. You're a little hungry, and you're like, oh wait, there's some jerky like right here, right? So there is this thing called Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, and you can find out more about that at planetjerky.net. Okay, seriously, it's not a whole planet there. You can't live there. They should do that with like the metaverse or something though. Like you could just live there and eat there. But again, planetjerky.net.
Because then if you like have to like eat dirt, it's jerky. I mean, it's not bad. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, make sure you find IE Sports Radio on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it is. Instagram, Facebook, the Talk of Tick, and iesportsradio.com/East Coast Red and Gold.
Not the talk of the tick. I mean.
Also, someone buy my tickets for next weekend, for the love of God. Okay? Please. I don't want to sell them to whatever ridiculous fan base comes stumbling in next. Don't make me do it. Don't, please.
Don't do it.
Don't.
Buy
Stop
his
it.
tickets.
Someone reach out to me.
Buy his tickets.
Anyone. For the love of God.
Make a post and I'll share it in that tailgate thing too, because
see now I got to do work. See, like you guys, y'all.
Well, you want to sell the tickets, do you not?
Right.
I know. I know.
You've got brokers. You've got brokers over here.
Well, I think tomorrow is finally not going to snow, so I'm really excited about that. So I don't have to, deal with that whole scenario tomorrow. So maybe
it's 50 degrees here today. I was pretty excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you say, Becca?
I need to make sure they go to a good home, right? It's like selling livestock. Like I don't want it to go to the butcher. Like I want it to go graze for somewhere, right? Like that's where I'm at.
And we have our first analogy of the night, folks.
There you go.
Got to pardon them like the turkeys on the White House.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are fine.
Mimi and Fifi are spared for the year.
Doing all right. Doing just fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, let's talk a little football. We lost to the Rams. Matty got his wish. Before we get our complete thoughts on the game, let's talk about some individuals. Sam Darnold, to start. What are you guys' thoughts? Becca?
I mean, Sam came in and did his job. He did all right. It wasn't, I don't know. I wasn't expecting brilliance. I wasn't expecting a lot. I thought the game was well in hand up until late in the game when we started to take out even the second stringers. Like we started to really pull the rest of the ones and some of even the twos. And then the game started to slip away. But we had that game well in hand up until late in the game, So I don't think Sam was necessarily the problem. I just think the drop off of talent, once you start to pull all those people out, it kind of, that's what we saw. It went.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of like
sorry. I was saying I agree with
Oh,
you.
go
You know,
ahead.
I thought Sam was Big Red. He was serviceable. He
Mhm.
did his job. You know, he looked functional, and you know, game plan was simplified as we knew it would be. But it was just run the ball, make some throws. Run the ball, make some throws. And with that, you can see, okay, we can move the ball with him, and we saw him and in the Ravens game actually do some
Yeah.
things.
Exactly.
So yeah, I thought he had a good game. I mean, that first half he was 12 of 19,
Mhm.
passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. I mean,
It was decent.
like 160 yards or something. That's good numbers. Oh wait, it was like 119, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
But good numbers, right? Serviceable. That's what you want. So it was fine. And it's just like Rebecca said, we started pulling guys left and right. I mean, it was like the third stringers and the fourth stringers were out there.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was like, okay, let's just end this thing. Like,
Who's gonna
like,
catch? Where am I supposed to go?
yeah,
Catching
yeah, yeah. At one point, I was like, bring in Brandon Allen. At this point, like, come on, get him out of there, right? We just in case, like,
Right.
do that. So, but yeah, he was serviceable. I had no problem with his performance. You know, nothing great, nothing flashy. He was just kind of eased in there and did what he needed to do.
Go, Maddie.
He was who we thought he was, right? To quote the late great Dennis Green, right? Like really,
Denny Green.
And maybe he learns from that mistake at the end, right? Like you don't need to
That
do
was
so
just
much,
horrible.
dude.
Yeah.
Like that was some 2018 Nick Mullins shit right there, man. Like that's some you remember those football bloopers things that Sports Illustrated would used to put out every
Mhm.
year? Like that would belong on that. That was absolutely insane. Like this was kind of like a poor man's Cleveland game. Like special teams didn't play all that hot. Moody had a rough week. Like just whatever. But it breaks that streak, right? Like if you looked around the league, there was a bunch of weird streaks that got broken the other day. Like Jets beat the Patriots for the first time since the Clinton administration or something. I don't know. I don't remember when it was. It was a while ago though. Like it was, there was all this stuff that happened around the league this week that was like, wow, that never happened before. And that just ended up being a part of it, just low key like. So, and it's very possible that these two teams play again in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like it is not out of the realm of possibility that the Rams go into Detroit and beat the Lions, right? Like there's no.
Could happen.
Good.
So, and to me, that's actually a worst case scenario. I don't want a team that's familiar with us, like playing in the division round. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I hate the division round games in the playoffs because it's like, I don't want it a third time because it's just
bad juju.
Bad. Yeah, always. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes you just overcome it and it's no big deal, but other times it's just dumb stuff. So, yeah.
Matt,
I was glad to see them lose this. I was glad to see them lose this meaningless game, right? So that the Rams have something to hang their hat on, right? So it's good. Now the cycle
Matt, you're
like 4 or 5 times.
You are guaranteed to get a team that's familiar with you in divisional. Think about the teams; they're all familiar with you.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get one no matter what.
Yeah. But it's different levels, right? There's
true.
Some people have gone home. Some people have gone home and met your family at the holidays, right? Some people, they came over maybe for say one night or something.
We're on a roll.
I know, right?
There's a varying level of comfort with all of them, right? So,
So, how do you think Sam Darnold did, Matt?
I think he did exactly like I said. He was exactly who we thought he was.
Yeah,
he did fine, right? Like I would have liked to have seen him pull it out at the end. That would have made me feel give me a nice little warm fuzzy feeling going into it. Like, hey, if Darnold has to come into a game, there's no drop off. But there's definitely a difference between Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold.
Oh, most definitely.
Absolutely.
I still think you can't gauge that second half. I mean, And you got
Yeah,
Matt
it's a
Pryor
tough one.
playing tackle, and
Yeah, it was just a weird game. What do you get from it, right? Like,
yeah.
he got them up and down the field. Like, the first drive was great, right?
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, if that was the game plan, was let's just chop 10 minutes off the clock every time because we can zip this game down and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm totally cool with that, right? Like, because at the end of the day, I think that's probably what it was intended to be until the game flowed the way the game flowed, right? So, but then they were pulling people out.
Yeah, I was just going to say the first drive didn't have how many starters to begin with, and we still managed to take 10 minutes off the clock to run that ball down. So then after that, you start pulling other people. Debo comes out, and all the rest of the ones that were in starting, all the rest of those guys. Ronnie Bell was in, but I don't even know. No, it was Jordan Mason, who was having a great game too. These guys all start to come out in the second half. So you don't even have them necessarily in there playing in the second half. So I feel like it's a really hard game to judge on any
Right.
because nobody that would be playing in another next week are going to, they were all out of the game. So I don't know. It's hard to.
What were the Rams focused on? The Rams were focused on getting Puka Nacua his record.
Yeah.
right?
Well, that was it. That was
Right.
And then winning the game was kind of like, oh, bonus score, right? So.
Well, I think if you want to be encouraged, I think the thing you should look at is the drive before the end of the half. I mean, that was a 90-yard drive in which the Ray McLeods and the Ronnie Bells, Chris Conley was out there.
Yeah.
And he drove the ball down the field.
Mhm.
Like that was Sam, complete to Elijah, complete to Ray. Then he had the deep pass to Chris Conley.
Yeah.
There was some encouraging things there on that drive, and he hit Ronnie Bell in the end zone. So if you look at that and just say, okay, with our backups in there, because those were backups,
Right.
Mhm.
he did move the ball, right? And then the O-line was there with the backup O-line. That was before things really got wonky. So you saw some encouraging things there.
Mhm.
So in the second half, when we really started pulling people, that's when it all went to,
Win.
Schitt's Creek. So
Yeah, the receivers
Just
did
think
not
of
do
that.
him any favors in the second half. They did.
yeah,
They did all the favors that they did for him on that drive that you just mentioned. Like, they undid it and then
Exactly.
asked and actually bounced a check the other way too,
Yeah.
right? Like, it was there's still an outstanding invoice for some of the shit they left for him in the second half.
Yeah.
It was really rough. Like, that was not good on some of it, and it was just he was right there, like off the
Mhm.
fingertips, off the ribs, right? Or
Yep.
take a hit, goes in the air. Like, you gotta hang on to stuff, man.
So 4 points were left off the board. Jake Moody. Is there a cause for concern going into these playoffs? He's never
Nah.
missed I know Robbie Gold. Everyone's screaming for Robbie Gold. Robbie Gold's never missed a postseason field goal. Neither has Jake Moody.
Nope.
But you know what? Jake Moody hasn't missed since October.
Mm-hmm.
He's been good most of the year. Your thoughts, guys? Go ahead, Maddie.
Is it possible that it's just like this team? Like, he was just freaking tired? Like, this is a long stretch for a kicker to be, kicking. I'm not trying to be a smart ass here, but in college they're done kicking by now, right? Or they had like a 4 or 5, 6 week break in between kicks. Like, he's going full on out 7 days a week doing his thing, right? Like, this team had that kind of sort of same deal. Like, it hit the bye and then it came back fresh, recharged, ready to go, right? I just think the bye week came at the perfect time for him. I think he kind of hit the wall, kind of like he hit the wall in Cleveland. I thought that was a hit the wall game for him. So it just, that rookie wall is real, right? And you can get past it, and you can still reset, and you can still get to where you need to be. Is it something to watch? Yes. Anything with your special teams is something to watch. You want to keep an eye on it. And I'm sure they've got, we got a cat in the background. Just a little lazy cameo
Makes
there.
his second appearance 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. She is something else. But, it's just one of those deals, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm sure they've got kickers on speed dial just in case. I'm sure that I don't think it's Robbie Gould, but someone is, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if they wouldn't call Robbie back to say, hey, come finish this stretch for us. At least come back and do that. Because I think Robbie was hanging around for a while and then finally was like, all right, he seems to be good. I'm going to retire. But I'm an advocate of don't let it come down to special teams and a field goal, an extra point missed to win the game. Just like don't let the refs determine the outcome, like one bad call. You don't want to be in that position. I like it when we run up the score and we are in total control of the outcome of the game. So I don't love that we lost by 1 point and Jake Moody making anything could have changed the outcome of that game, even if it was kind of, not important. It was important, but not consequential. But yeah, I think, we can't let it come down to a field goal or an extra point being missed that determines the fate of the team.
So you would be okay with them calling up Robbie Gould?
If he's consistently going to miss stuff, or if he goes into next week and misses 3 field goals and misses an extra point or whatever, gets the ups, whatever. Yeah, bring Robbie in, finish it out with Robbie. Either he's going to fix his fix his stuff in the off season.
Yeah, because I apologize for me. Yeah, I love that. That's great.
I mean, he's either going to fix his issues in the off season and get on track, or we're going to be looking for another kicker anyway, right? I mean,
this window's
Ty,
not a big deal.
Let's play a little game real quick.
Uh-oh.
So, player A goes 10 weeks without incident. Player B goes 2-3 weeks with an incident, without incident. Who are you more concerned with? Player A or player B?
Depends on the role.
I'm just saying, it's an incident. It cost the team. Who are you more concerned with? Player A, player B?
Again, it depends on their role.
It's player B. He has the more frequent incident. Let's put that out there. Player A cost you 4 points in a game. Player B cost you 20 points in a game.
But
who
what
would you
is
be more concerned with?
the percentage of his issue?
Hold on. We're going to get to that. Player B cost you 20. Who would you be more concerned with?
It depends.
Just answer the question.
It depends on his
It's
role.
obviously player B. He cost you
It
20
depends
more
on his
points,
role.
right?
No, it depends
Player
on his role.
A plays a certain amount of snaps.
Right.
Player B plays 10 times more snaps than player A. Who would you be more concerned with making the mistake? It's player B.
Depends on
Right.
the role and the propensity for mistake.
So, as I put out there on Twitter, Brock Purdy had a game where he had 4 picks.
Mhm.
It cost the team 20 points, and the team lost. No one ran out and said, we're going to call up Brian Hoyer. We need to call Jimmy G. We need to call Nick Mullins, who do for darn near 400 yards. We need to call this person, that person, the ghost of this guy or that guy. Everyone came out and said, he's still my quarterback.
Brock Purdy plays every play.
And has the propensity to screw up every play. That's my point. So,
He doesn't have the
if your kicker
there might be
goes all these weeks
so bad.
without incident and just happens to miss 2 kicks, on a windy day. If you speak to the people who was actually at the game, they said the wind was gusting. He missed them. It happens. Why are we not supporting him the same way? Why are we not bringing that energy? Say, you know what, Jake, you messed up. You're still our guy. We got you. Learn from this and elevate. Let's get better.
Because of
Right?
4 plays he's in for, he screwed up, 66% of them. Brock Purdy doesn't screw up 60% of the plays that he's
we're talking about an individual game, not every game. He doesn't do that every game. It was one game.
So
and Brock had a game where he screwed up 4 big plays that cost you 20 points.
But he also threw for
Look at the score of that game. He doesn't screw up. We win that game. And that was a much bigger game than the Rams game, right?
100%. That was a bigger game.
Yeah.
I agree that was a big deal. But he also threw for 300 plus yards. He did a lot of good things in that game.
We lost.
Wow.
And we lost.
Still lost. Yeah, we lost.
And he was the catalyst.
He lost because you're right. He threw 4 picks.
But the point here is we should be supporting this young player. Because other guys screw up too. And that was just one example. When Fred Warner missed 5 tackles in Cleveland, we didn't say we need to call Patrick Willis. We need to call Navarro Bowman. I know you would call Patrick in a heartbeat. That's a different story. But you know what I mean? When Nick Bosa wasn't getting sacks, we didn't say we need to call Ahmad Brooks. We need to call Justin Smith, right? We supported him. Support this guy. He went all this time without incident, one bad game, and we're like, throw him to the curb. And it's kind of just that big overreaction Niners fans have, especially for a rookie. They're quick to throw rookies away. We wanted to throw Diamador Lenore away his rookie season. Look at him now. We love some Demo, right? We wanted to throw Brandon Ayuk away his rookie season. Now, hashtag pay Ayuk is trending.
I feel like it was more Kyle Shanahan that wanted to get rid of Ayuk during that time.
Players too. He's in the doghouse. He can't work it out. Yeah. I'll rewind even further. There's a guy named Fred Warner who had a stretch of bad games where he was only having 2 tackles, 3 tackles, and fans wanted to get rid of him. He's not the answer at linebacker. We need another Willis and Bowman out there. He's not going to make it. He's too small. No one in their right mind would give up Fred Warner today. We have to stop giving up on these guys and just support them. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I will say Jake Moody's only missed 5 total kicks, and so has Justin Tucker, the Ravens
kicker. Mother Tucker? Really? I thought he was the best ever.
He apparently still is, and he's missed 5 kicks.
No, it's crazy. A lot of the best kickers in the league, all missed on Sunday. It was the wildest thing.
I was going to bring that up too. That it seemed like
Sunday was weird.
It was like something going around, something in the kickers' waters. They were all missing.
The other one was Giants Eagles. Like the Giants hadn't beaten the Eagles in a long time either, and they didn't just like beat them. Like they beat them, right? Like it was just there was a lot of that going around the league this week. A lot of that.
Yeah, we broke the Eagles.
Apparently we did.
Broke a lot of teams. Broke Seattle.
Yeah.
Right?
Bye-bye chewing gum, man.
Yeah.
Completely broke
Juices.
Peace out. See ya.
Hit the high note.
Didn't fully break Jacksonville, but look at Jacksonville after they played the 49ers.
We did, though.
Yeah.
But, they fired the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator. They fired everybody there. Basically, the only person left is the head coach and Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
If you look around the league, there's a lot of that. So, there's a lot of that.
All right. So, Robert Beal Jr. recorded his first career sack. Really coming along. I think he'll be playing a lot more because Clelin Ferrell will be most likely missing this game. What are your thoughts on Robert Beal Jr.?
Good luck, man.
Yeah, I mean, what I
Play your
thought.
best.
Yeah.
Do your deal.
Like-
I'm going to do exactly what Ty just told me to do. I'm going to support this kid. Go kick ass, Robert.
You got big shoes to fill.
That's
That's
you
what
got
I
big
wanna
shoes
say.
fill. But Farrell's been a very underrated player this year. That's a big
Yes,
guy.
that's why. Yes,
big
Matt.
loss. It's
Absolutely.
a big loss.
Yeah.
He's been one of the more consistent pass rushers for this team here in the second
Mhm.
half. So this is one of those sneaky injuries. It's like, really? So hopefully Armstead coming back healthy. A lot of guys came back with limited practices this week, I guess. So that's that's good news for everybody involved.
Yeah.
And nobody's playing until next Saturday anyway, in all likelihood. I'm thinking I think everybody pretty much assumes at this point that the 49ers will have the Saturday night game. So whoever they play. So we'll see who that is.
Game balls. Yeah, Becca.
Game balls. Ooh, I don't have my notebook with me, but I would say it has to be Elijah Mitchell, who played really, really well early, in the first half. And I was trying to think of who I wrote down. Somebody else that I was like, okay, look at him go. He's playing really well too. Yeah. Definitely, I know Elijah Mitchell was getting the game ball. But, I mean, I think Sam Darnold, too. He came in and did his job. He did what he was expected to do. But, yeah, I'll just stop it with those two at this point because I don't have my notes.
I am going to go with Taylor Hawkins.
That's who it was. Taylor Hawkins. Yes. He played lights out.
Yeah, he got his first career interception, and now he's on IR because he's getting wrist surgery. And my other game ball is going to Robert Beal Jr. because, like I just said, he recorded his first career sack. Ty, go ahead.
Yeah, on defense, I got one for Taylor Hawkins. He's a guy I've been high on since last year, and gosh darn it, he just keeps getting hurt. Darn it, he's killing my dreams. I want to see 41 out there. I really like him. He did flash. He gave up some plays, rookie stuff, but he's got a lot of potential. I like him. Oren Burks was out there flying around. It's good to see OB out there once again, doing his thing. He was good to see. On offense, I got one for Big Red, Sam Darnold. Like I said, he was good in the first half, serviceable. Looked the way we needed him to look. It's like, okay, when we get the A team out there, maybe he'll look even better because they'll make him look better, right? Okay, then. And Mitchell and Mason running the ball. I think they did a great job just pounding the rock. And I got on special teams. I got one for Tabor Pepper and Big Mitch because the snaps in the hold were clean. I mean, they were showing them in slow motion, and I was just focused on that. And I was like, man, that's some clean execution. Darn kick wasn't, but clean execution. But they were. I got to give them their kudos. That was good.
Wasn't their fault.
Yeah, Maddie.
Let's go with Mitch Wishnowski, but for the punting side of things, he had a long of 61.
Yeah, that's true.
So definitely like that. Logan Ryan on the defensive side of the ball fit right in. Good off the street veteran leadership.
Yep.
Type of guy that baseball teams get right before the trade deadline back at the waiver trade deadline on August 31st.
The waiver wire.
And he kind of gets you through the rest of the year, and you're like, oh my God, doesn't it seem like this guy has been here for years? But like, he's been on some very important teams and done some things. So perfect guy to add to that secondary at this point, and did pretty well. I thought Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles also played pretty well the other day too. Isaiah Oliver also had 9 tackles. Fun fact on that. And Conley could have had a much bigger day. He was targeted 6 times, and he had some go right off his hands. But he finished with 69 yards, and I think we can all agree that's pretty nice.
All right, moving on to the playoffs. We got some reinforcements on the way pretty good injury news. CMC won't practice this week, but he'll be back next week. Cleveland Farrell will probably miss this game. Armstead is back. Jennings is back. Brown, Gibson, and Thomas are back. And George Odom's practice window was open today. Thoughts on those reinforcements? In particular, Eric Armstead.
Very good news.
Huge. Huge. Like he's the cog. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Stay hungry.
exactly.
Yeah. Because he was just getting the troops back. You want everybody back. You want to go into the playoffs full strength. And to get those key guys back, that's what we're doing. So it bodes well for us because we all say injury is like our greatest deterrent, right? It's our greatest opponent. So to get all those guys coming back healthy, and they're coming back now, they still have a full week, 2 weeks, week and a half, whatever it is now, to get even healthier and ready for the game. So that's huge for us and makes us look a whole lot better.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Maddie, you were banging the table for the first round bye the entire season. Now we have it. Like I said, reinforcements are on the way. Go ahead.
This is why. This is it. Like the bye week, I think does all the explanation for me. Why, right? Like how they went into that bye week, how they came out of that bye week, just the way they play football, just the culture they have is take no prisoners, whatever. I was very concerned with some of the plays that they had, when Debo was out on the field for a while. Debo wasn't screwing around out there. Like he was out and pushing and shoving and face masking and all sorts of different things.
Mhm.
So
like Rams.
No, and
Even in the meaningless game, he's like, I don't like them.
Yeah, right. It's how that goes. Like once you crank that stuff up, you crank that stuff up. So that's just their mentality. So they need those, they're the marathoner and they need those water breaks, whether they're just splashing it over their head or they're drinking it. Like they have got to get those water breaks. And yeah, so the Rams game kind of being that coast in, right? Just that little extra preseason game almost. And then going into this week where you can kind of really refresh, reset, refocus. The only thing that's rough about this week is you really don't, from 4 to 7, you really do not know who the hell is going to be coming in here next Saturday night, right? Because you could make a case for any one of those teams, any one of them. So it's from Tampa all the way down to Green Bay. So
I would say no to that. I don't want them back.
No way, silly fungi.
Well, it's never go Rams under any situation.
Yeah.
Even in week 1 and they're playing Miami, like screw them.
Yeah. I like just the Rams go to Dallas. The enemy of the enemy is my friend, right? So that'd be great. Be nice.
So not only do we have the rest, we have the time to practice and get better, right? I mean, the defense should be fresh. Everybody should be fresh. Hopefully they're not
ready to tackle again, maybe
right.
Ready to tackle again.
Right.
Yeah.
Although, the other game we only missed 6 tackles?
6,
the game against
6, yeah.
Washington?
Washington, yeah.
In fairness, it was against Washington.
It was Washington.
So let's
perspective is everything.
But still, that was a good game to get back on track, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Are they a National Football League team? Correct.
Yes.
Have they been eliminated for about 6 weeks now? Also correct.
But
they're one of the few teams that was actually eliminated before Thanksgiving this year. So, it's kind of one of those deals where you're just like, we got to take it with a grain of salt. So, but they got the win, right? Like that's you go on the road, and you go out and do the thing. Like it doesn't matter. Like they got the win, and then whatever happened in the last week didn't really matter at that point. Once you get to have the right to decide if you want to play in that final week, you're doing all right. So, but that bye week was so important. Think, ask the Eagles how much they wish they had the bye week right now, right? I mean, they had it pretty much all year. Like, that might make a world of difference for that football team. Instead, they're, the league decided to give them an extra day for Jalen Hurts' finger, I guess. I don't know what's going on there. But,
Which
isn't
is
that
absolutely
interesting?
gross, by the
Stupid.
way, when they showed the picture of it.
It was.
kind of
Yeah,
disgusting.
and there was it wasn't broken. How was that not broken? I don't
I know.
understand.
It was the weirdest thing.
No.
Yeah, it could just like randomly be taped and it'll be fine, which I don't
I know.
see that.
It was wild when you ran
At
back
all.
out there and it was taped. I'm like, what?
Yeah, we've all. I mean, bless HD cameras, but sometimes we could have gone without, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ugh.
So speaking of Washington, new to the Pro Football Hall of Fame is the game ball from the Niners win over Washington in Week 17, when they became the first team in NFL history with a running back, CMC, 2 wide receivers, BA and Debo, and my boy George with 1,000 scrimmage yards in the same season. Pretty cool.
Very cool.
And I must say, I've got to witness a lot of cool things this season.
Right?
That being one of them, and then the clinching the NFC West in Arizona. Pretty cool stuff.
Yes.
You mean the
And
10th
Ty,
home
you were
game
in Washington as well.
or the 11th
was in
home
Washington.
game? I can't remember how many home games it was this year.
Yeah,
I think that was about our 11th,
yeah,
maybe 12th. Because
probably.
Washington was up there. Yeah.
Arizona was too.
We got, yeah. Go back and
Jacksonville,
do-
I guess. Jacksonville was pretty
Jacksonville
loud
was
too,
one.
so you might even
Yeah.
be getting to 12, frankly.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, do you guys have any concerns about this 49ers team coming off the bye and going into this divisional round next week?
Third down, defensive third down conversion rates, like, to me, still a bugaboo. Like, we got to come out quick. I want to see a 3-and-out on that first drive defensively, right? I don't care who they're facing or what it is, but I need to see that, and then I need to see that consistently, because there's still a lot of second and longs and third and longs that are getting converted. Too many for my taste for a team that's supposed to, that is, but I keep hearing is an elite defense.
Yeah.
Right? So too many third and longs, like, wow, great play. Well, why is there always a great play here? Right? Like,
Mhm.
at some point we need to have a great play the other way on a third and long or whatever. So, and, you know, right or wrong, I still feel like the 49ers are targeted, you know, in terms of illegal contact, things of that nature, just because of the way they play. They all play very physically. So, like, you don't know what you've got for a crew. And remember, guys, the crews that they've got in these games, they're not like the crews. They're like an all-star crew.
These all-stars.
So a lot of these guys haven't worked together before. So there's a possibility that, like, every another holding penalty, another holding, like, we don't know. Like, that is such a huge unknown. So that's a big deal. So to me, that simply comes down to pass rush. Like, get to the quarterback and get him down. Whoever it is, get to the quarterback and get him down, or make him make bad decisions, and then that doesn't become a problem. But if you're not getting at the quarterback and they've got time to do ridiculous things, you're going to have some heartbreak catches. And I don't think any of us can handle that this year. I can't. I know I can't. So,
Fun fact, Eric Armstead's podcast is called Third and Long.
I don't even want to say that. Because when I think third and long, and what Maddie's talking about here, it's not just like 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. We're talking about 3rd and 15.
15.
Yep.
3rd and 16 and longer. It's those. Well, all of a sudden, this defense will give up a first down. And you're like, how in the fudge did that happen?
Yes.
How? How, Sway? Tell me how. That's the bugaboo. It's those
way too much bend but
down
don't
in
break for me
distances. Makes
for it
no
to be
sense.
elite. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like in Philly, it happened with Devontae Smith. And it was like, how does this guy who weighs 125 pounds pick that up on a 6-yard pass.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So yeah, don't even hate to even think about those. I cringe ever since the Super Bowl years ago. When I see 3rd and teens, I just cringe. I'm on the edge of my seat, like, please.
Same.
Right, but I point out those statistics all the time. Like we might win by 35 points, but we're giving up all these third down conversions. We're giving up. They're controlling the clock. Eventually, that's going to come back and bite you in the rear end, and you're not going to win in every one of those situations. And I agree. Like the defense has to stop letting these teams stay in it the way they do.
Yeah. But Jess, you mentioned, any concerns going into this, coming off the layoff. For me, no. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's too much time off, and Brock hasn't thrown for 3 weeks, and blah, 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 blah. That's not the case. Like, they are practicing. I'm sure it'll be some heated, spirited practices, Kyle and his coaching staff does a great job of having this team prepared. And I just think about how we started the season when we had a whole off season off. And these guys came out on fire. Then mid-season, we had our bye week, and they came back, and we were in Jacksonville, Jess. They came out on fire and stayed on fire for a stretch.
Yep.
Right?
Brand new football game.
Exactly. So here we are. It's the same scenario.
Right.
We have a bye. Yeah. Then it's just a 3-game tournament now.
To your point, we started the season with a quarterback who had surgery in the offseason, who didn't throw for how many weeks? Who even thinking about Brock Purdy having had surgery in the offseason? He came out seamlessly assuming the role all over again. So, all the criticism or concern around him, I think he's got a great mindset, and I don't think he's going to let himself get rusty.
Yeah, people saying Brock, he's not going to be playing for 3 weeks. Well, he still will be throwing and practicing. Like Rebecca, you just said, I'm young enough to remember when Brock didn't even throw a football for 4 months.
Right.
Oh, months.
And came
let
in.
alone 3 weeks. Yeah.
Right.
And then had to rev his way up and started throwing for 3 weeks and then started playing. Like, come on, people. Let's put this in perspective here.
Yeah.
He'll be ready. And we know all that, how other teammates have talked about how he gets prepared. Like mentally and physically, he'll be fine.
Yeah, tomorrow and Friday they have hard practices. They have the weekend off, and then next week is normal practice.
Business as usual. Exactly.
Yes. My one concern is we have to protect the football. The Ravens game, the one interception, like that was obviously, Brock. We talked about that. The other ones were unfortunate, but that's the main thing, because we can't have the turnovers.
Right.
Have to protect the football.
But we saw how he bounced back.
That's true.
Like, when we got how he performed in Washington. And I know everyone loves the scramble play, that play, but look at the other plays he made from the pocket, quarterbacking, scanning the field, throwing dimes. That was beautiful stuff. So it was like, when you don't have that fluky stuff going on and weird things happening, this is what you're going to get. So yeah, we're fine. I'm fine. Yeah. Brock is young. He's not going to throw a football for 3 weeks. Are you serious?
Fine. We're all right.
I know, Mike.
But at the end of the day, 49ers fans that have been around this franchise for a long time have seen the sword fall in various ways when this team has had the number 1 seed, right?
Very true.
They've seen them come out, and they've seen them play well and come out and just kick ass. They've also seen them come out and lay an absolute stanky egg against the Vikings in 1987, many of which does traumatize some people for life. Okay, and then they share those stories with their family, and then those family members can carry those memories.
It's like an old ghost story.
Correct. Correct.
Don't
But
beware the
see,
number one
that-
seed because they'll come and get ya.
because that
Maddie has
87
the
team,
perfect
like,
lighting for that too.
yeah,
He's
it-
Palpatine. I'm
ooh,
telling you, he's
you
Palpatine.
know, people
like
have
a
seen
little
it.
eye of the
People have seen
newt.
it, and even 97. Didn't they have the number one? I think they had the number one seed then too, and then it didn't go well. So it's just like you worry about it, and then you also see it with other teams. But I don't. This team needs it. This team needs it and is prepared for it. And the cool part, and I think the thing that I'm really excited about is, you know, and that's one of the history points too. They see Bill overworked him that week. I don't think Kyle Shanahan's going to make that same mistake.
No,
You know,
no
the
2 a
fact that-
days and 3 a days here.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That doesn't happen anymore. That doesn't happen anymore, anyways. But I don't think
It's
he's
against the
gonna overwork
rules.
a
You can't
mental
even think
year.
about it.
No.
Players Union says no.
Although Javon Hargrave did say on Eric Armstead's podcast that Kyle Shanahan's practices are the hardest that he's ever had, you know, compared to Eagles.
Other players have
practice.
said that too, that have left and gone to other organizations. They say they practice hard, but they play hard. It's their brand of football.
Right.
And that's why they need those mile marker weeks off. They have to have those rest areas. So they got those rest areas, they're good to go. And now they've got that perfect. They literally just have to go 2 more weeks and they get another break, right?
Exactly.
2 more weeks.
Exactly.
And I think
So,
that's what
even.
Fred Warner said too. He's like, look, now we've got a 2-week schedule and then another week off, but we
Mhm.
have to get through these very finite weeks. And you know, that's how
You
they're
know,
thinking.
so many good things have happened this season, you know, like with the 1,000-yard, you know, rusher and, you know, and stuff like that, that it would be awesome for this season to end how we all want it to end.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
It's not quite
It'd be
perfect
nice.
season, but it would be nice to be like, hey, look at this amazing offense and then this, you know, really good defense. that
And they
came
deserve all
together
the
and-
flowers, right?
Right. You know what I mean? And pretty much everyone knows, like, you know, you ask around the league, they're the top. It's either them or the Ravens if you ask who the number one team is, right? So, and there's only so many bites at the apple. You know what I mean? You know, relative. It's been a really good year for a lot of things, for a lot of various reasons. Some of which I won't mention because I don't want to jinx it. So, let's
don't.
hope that continues and continues all the way through.
So Eric Armstead's coming back. Does he solidify this defense?
I certainly hope so because we've seen what it's like without him.
He's a key cog. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, Jess. It was I don't know, it was before or after the Jacksonville game. Like you had that question, is he valuable or does the team need him? It was like him and Juszczyk. Remember that?
Yes.
Well, we're seeing that answered in real time, in real life, right? I said yes. We all see it happening. Yes, you know, he's definitely a difference maker out there. He's a tone setter. He does damage on the inside, whether he's winning one-on-ones or taking on double teams and like freeing up Hargrave or another guy. Like he definitely sets a tone out there. And remember early in the year how it was him and like Steve Wilkes and he talked about Armstead coming up with a game plan, some stuff he saw on film about his opponents and saying, hey, we can capitalize on them if they do this. Like the guy studies and he's trying to do everything he can physically and mentally to make everyone better and attack an offense. That's stuff you don't see on the stat sheet, and it's invaluable. So if he comes back and he's healthy enough to go, what a difference that will make.
Terradome says, ask yourselves how good have the Niners been versus AFC teams coming off a bye?
All I know is we beat down first place Jacksonville. I remember that one.
Basically ended their
That's what I
life,
was gonna say.
right?
In their house.
And the Cincinnati game
Cross
was kind of a
country.
weird one too, because the Cincinnati game happened after that weird ass Minnesota Monday nighter, right?
Mhm.
Like That was a rough one. That was an absolute rough one.
But
So the
even in
49ers
that
get the
game,
short. Yeah.
oops, sorry. Yeah, even in that game, that was a one-score
Yes.
game going into the fourth quarter.
Exactly. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
close.
You know, then things kind of just got unhinged, right?
That's
But
when you could tell that they were.
we were right there battling with them, and that was when Cincinnati was at their peak. That's when everybody was talking about Joe Burrows and MVP form.
Oh yeah. After that game, if you'd polled media members, I guarantee you Joe Burrow would have been the guy. Like at that point, like if they had to vote on it that week, it would have been Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have been saying that I've seen that, you know, Armstead is the guy who takes us to the Super Bowl. Who is that one player in your minds who takes us to the Super Bowl?
I think it has to be Brock Purdy because I don't think we get there with Sam Darnold. Or Christian McCaffrey. I mean, maybe Sam pulls it out, but I mean, they're in the MVP discussion for a reason.
Go ahead, Maddie.
Well, I got to tell you, I think it's Charvarius Ward. Like he's gonna win all his one-on-ones. He can't. That's a. He's gotta be the lockdown corner on the other side. Whatever side that he's on, like they got to be funneling everything else to him. So this is his chance to show that he's one of the top guys. We kind of know he's one of the top guys, but he needs to be consistent this whole playoffs. So I could see this being his coming out party, particularly against some of the receivers that he's going to have to face off against.
Okay. Ty?
Jake Moody. You know I had to do it.
Beck is done.
I had a
That's
feeling.
I had to do it.
Beck is done.
Oh, there goes the glass.
I even just Googled
Someone call the front
just to
desk
see
and
what
get
his
like,
real name. Make sure his name wasn't Jacob or something else.
Was going to spin all the way
Jake
around.
Moody, yeah, I was going to say his full name. No, one guy. I think if you look at one guy to be a catalyst per se, for me it's CMC. He's been that guy all season, and I think Kyle will lean on him heavily in the playoffs. You know, he just did the interview. He's the best football player he's ever coached, and we all know he's the guy that makes the offense go. So I think it's CMC.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Terradome here. I'm going to go with Deebo Samuel.
I think Deebo is the nail in the coffin guy.
as well.
Yeah.
I think Deebo's like, all right, it's time to put this team to bed.
Yeah.
19. Go do what you do.
Jerry
I'm gonna
Rice
go with
versus
Deebo.
the Bears
He's healthy,
in the NFC title game.
rested.
Is kind of what Deebo has to be this playoff. You're right, Jeff.
Yeah, healthy, rested, ready to roll. He was on the Rich Eisen show, and he just, just saying how he was healthy and, and stuff like that. And, how he was going to be watching the games this weekend. And, it's to hear these guys talk, it seems like they're vibing, they're ready to roll, they're rested, just you could just hear it in their voice. Do we see the guy behind me, Kyle Shanahan, do we see him open up the playbook?
Depends on who you play.
Yeah, I think I'm like, maybe.
Maddie, why do you say that?
I can't imagine he's just going to start letting it rip in the divisional round unless they get down like 14-0 early. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys remember that there's been a few different playoff games where craziness has happened, but it was one of the years the Patriots won the Super Bowl and they had to face the Ravens and they had those weird ass formations and they had Edelman throwing passes to Amendola, and like they got down by 14 twice, and they ended up coming back and winning. If they get into a situation like that against whoever they play, yes, they're going to unload everything. Every trick, everything that's locked up in Kyle Shanahan's playmaking basement is coming out, right?
Yeah.
Like everything from the island of misfit toys is going to happen, you know. Whether it's a Ray McLeod, Debo Samuel double reverse that gets thrown to Christian McCaffrey or some other ridiculous, you know, craziness that they come up with. So, yes, could it happen? Sure. But I think they're going to save it for situations when they need it. And hopefully there's not a situation like that where they're down 14 twice and they need to jump into their bag of tricks, right? Like at the end of the day, what you want them to do is just do what they've done all year, which is, you know, kind of a microcosm of what you saw in the first half against the Rams, you know, 9-minute drive.
Yeah.
Give me some 9-minute drives in the playoffs with your first stringers. I'm totally cool with that. That is
with the score at the end.
Sign me up, right? Sign me up. Because with your first stringers and 9-minute drives, you're not gonna be losing by a point to the Rams. We'll put it that way. If you're doing that the whole game.
Yeah, Ty.
I say yes, but not in terms of trick plays and stuff. I'm saying yes as in spreading the ball around the field and you know, taking shots and doing things like that. Especially because the last 2 weeks, week 17 and 18, it's been a super conservative game plan. It's been nothing. It's been really just toss, run, kind of toss, run,
toss, run.
What we gonna do now? Toss left.
Yeah.
Toss right.
Toss
right again. Like it's been super conservative. Yeah. So I think now Kyle's like, okay, I can take the gloves off a bit. It's win or go home. Let's start attacking the entire field. Let's run. Let's set up our hard play action passes. Let's really stress a defense and go at it. So exactly, Terradome. So I think Kyle will be like, okay, here we go. Time to put on my game face and open this thing off and really attack teams.
But I think that's our normal standard MO in a game. We're coming out, we're going to do that anyway. But I think by opening the playbook, you meant like trick plays and some other.
No, I'm not necessarily trick plays, but just like Ty said, like getting more people involved and just kind of, you know.
I read into it more like I guess Matt did. Like we're not gonna pull out the secret sauce until we have to sprinkle the fairy dust on things and make it happen because we have to have those plays. But I think, yeah, of course, we're going to get back to all the real deal guys are in there. We're going to show you this is who we are. This is what we've shown you all season. We're going to hit you in the face, and you're going to have to play football. Yeah, I absolutely think we're going to bring all of that energy.
Yeah, it's
it
now or
doesn't even
never.
have to be trick plays either.
Yeah.
It to me, it has to be one of those deals like, as you guys know, every 49ers play is almost a play with a purpose, even the simple ones, right?
Yeah.
Because it makes you think that somebody's going to be doing something. So let's pay off some of those, right? You know, no matter what that might be, whatever you've been threatening all year with, you know, somebody going in motion and going somewhere else, or a jump pass from McCaffrey, or, you know, like whatever it might be that you've been threatening this year, like that's what it's going to be. Whether it's a trick play or whether it just comes in the flow of the game, like you're going to show that the worst possible case scenario for your defense could come true if you don't guard it at a particular point in time. And I think this is a perfect time for Kyle to remind people just who the F he is, basically, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I mean by that. It doesn't have to be like 15 reverses, but
right.
He does things that no one else in the league does and everyone else copies, right? So let's show just how dangerous some of these formations can actually be.
Right, you run it one way and it goes to one guy. You run it again and it goes to somebody else. And that I absolutely think is going to tear them up with those kind of plays. Yeah.
All right. Who do you guys want us to see in the divisional round?
I'll go first. Don't matter. I don't care. Bring them.
Mm.
Bring you, your friends, me, and you, your mama and your cousin too. It don't matter.
And bring the damn snacks while you're at it.
We gonna beat you down. I don't care.
And the beer.
The funny thing is the way they scheduled this playoffs is weird. Like all the AFC teams play first, and then the NFC teams play.
Yeah, they should have
And-
like mismatched it. Like
I
kind
know
of.
it's the weirdest, laziest scheduling ever. But we would literally look at from game to game and see and know what who our opponent is, because like the Packers play first.
Right.
If they win, okay, that's who we got. Okay, they lost. The Rams play next. If they win, that's who we got. And then if they lose, then we know it's the winner of the Monday night game between the Eagles and Bucks. It's the weirdest thing the way they set that up, but we'll know. But
Right. We
I'm
know
not worried
the
about any of those
Dallas
teams.
or the Lions, right? Like that is
Yeah,
statistically not possible.
yeah, they'll
We
play
will
each
not
other.
see either one.
If anything,
Right.
yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to, well, if this game is over, that eliminates this one from
Mhm.
options. But
I think we'll be ready for whomever.
yeah,
I actually do think that the Packers go into Dallas and kick their butts.
You know, I'm picking them too.
I did too, secretly.
I got
And
them
if that
too.
happens, we have Green Bay.
Yeah, so
Um,
we'll know right off the bat. Like, oh,
Right.
that's
Dallas
it.
will
Okay.
probably have a new head coach too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be-
Oh yeah.
He'll probably get fired right on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
He will literally get fired before the post-game handshake. He won't even be able to do what Arthur Smith did last week before he got fired.
Yeah.
Which, by the
And
way,
even
shout
yell
out
at
to
the
Jameis
opposing
Winston
coach.
from fantasy owners worldwide for getting Jamal Williams that touchdown. You are
Oh
the
my
real
gosh.
MVP. Thank you. That was the best.
So Brian says that he'd like to see the Packers, Bucks, and Lions win this week in the playoffs. Tony
Just to
Culp
switch it up a bit,
says
yeah.
And let's
she's hoping the Packers upset the Cowboys.
Just some new blood in the
let's
playoffs.
look at each one of the possibilities kind of evenly, right? If you look at the Packers, basically you're looking at, you got Jordan Love, whichever one of their receivers is healthy that week, right? Jaden Reed is typically the one that is the healthiest. He's probably the most dangerous. Christian Watson is just
He's
one
always out.
hamstring tweak away from being out
Yeah,
for 3 weeks.
he's always
right?
out.
So,
Yeah.
And their defense is kind of what it is, right? Like I expect that if the Packers win, like that's a fairly, that's going to be like a 45-21 sort of football game, right? You know what I mean? Like we get up early and they get some yardage late because they're just going to let them throw and get some stuff, get some experience. If the Rams beat the Lions and they end up being the 6th seed, that's the team that you've got two really good receivers, and they've started using Demarcus Robinson. They've given him a brand new second life as a wide receiver 3 there. So Kyron Williams is a good running back. That's not a fun matchup. That's not a matchup that I really want to have. That would be like my least wanted, like at the end of the day. Like I would not want to deal with the Rams again. I just hate having divisional guys getting that third one. It's asking for a bad time. So
Well,
5 seed. I would love to see if Philly
last
comes
week to
in.
the Rams, though.
So we
The
would
streak is over, aren't you happy?
Yeah, no, but it's a third matchup. You know what I mean? So it's not. It's not
Right,
the
but
kind of-
know.
okay. So
Hey,
last
hey,
week, hold on. Last
Okay,
week
go
you
ahead.
said if we win, winning 3 times is a lot. Like that's too much.
It really is. Yeah.
So we
And
lost.
last year, you said versus Seattle, winning 3 times is too much. I'm worried about this
It really
matchup.
is. Right.
They
and
sure
it
put up a
it
tough
can
fight that
change.
game,
It-
didn't
it-
they?
It could totally be a thing, but this to me isn't the fact that it was 3 stages or anything like that. And I do like karmically, I just love the fact that they got that meaningless win last week. But I don't like facing a division team like in three games. Like it just sometimes it doesn't end well. I've seen some really poor divisional playoff games where the team that was definitely not the better team won because they were just more familiar with the other team, right? They knew exactly what to do with them. So I don't expect that would happen, but that would be something that'd be more in the back of my mind. Like I'm not worried about it, but it would be like not my preference. Philly to me is a perfect matchup. They are running on fumes and whatever's left of their team. So they are.
I would love to
they
just
would-
put the
that
nail
would
in
be-
their coffin for the season, just as a personal thing. Just get out of here, you know? Yeah.
We are who you thought we are. That's
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be a fun matchup
that would be fun.
with Philly. All right. Any closing thoughts, guys? Anything else you want to add before we end the show?
Tampa wouldn't be bad either, by the way. You really match it well with Tampa, as we've seen multiple times. I think that would be the funnest. And also, we would like get a preview next year. By the way, they'll be playing in Tampa next year because of Tampa's NFC South.
Yep.
So when
That's
you're looking
right.
at away
So,
games next year,
Jess,
Tampa's
we got that one circled, right?
Yes.
Statistical probability is low, though, that we play Tampa. You know, that's what I saw. It's like very low that we're gonna end up with them.
Never
Are you
know.
are you
I mean-
shaking that candlestick dirt, Becca? All I hear is
I don't have the
I know
candle.
there is a rattle, right?
yeah. That's like all I hear.
I think it's the unit, the air conditioner unit,
Ah,
is over here, like rumbling in the
Where
background.
it sounds like change almost.
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I've got the candlestick necklace on. But
Oh, okay.
that's all I got.
I'd like to say, why in the heck are people still coming after our coordinators?
Ah,
Yeah,
Oh,
leave them
yes.
alone.
Can we go 1 year?
Jesus.
One.
And
How
same
people
thing
trying
like
to pilfer
with
from us?
Adam Peters. Like I want Adam Peters to stay. I don't want him
Yeah.
going anywhere.
no.
I
My
feel like
goodness.
it's going to take a lot for Adam Peters to leave. I really do.
Hope
I think
so.
I don't know.
He's
It'll
from
be
here,
real
he's-
interesting to
he's-
see how this team divvies up after a Super Bowl, if there's a Super
Yeah.
Bowl. There's a
He's
whole
from
lot
here,
of
he
stuff going around
loves
the
it.
league right now that isn't settled. So
Yeah.
Yep,
He said last year he
Terradome,
wants to be
You're
here.
right.
Yeah.
Cost of success.
But man, there's so many coaches out there
I
in
know.
the
Go-
ether
go
on other
fuck other
teams.
coaches.
Yeah.
they haven't come after any of our offensive guys this year, though, yet.
Well, don't
Exactly.
speak that into existence, Maddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of already expected Steve Wilkes to like start getting some run, right? And you know that like the San Francisco defensive coordinator job is kind of like the Alabama offensive coordinator job. Like you can go there and just get your life right.
It's
right?
your launching
Come
pad.
in, coach your
to-
defense. You already know what's going on. So
Mm,
I'm excited that
goodness.
Pete Carroll's gone. See
Oh,
ya.
I loved it.
out.
That was the best news of the day.
I saw that. I was like,
I was actually surprised.
Yeah.
now
never
I'm
saw it
interested
coming.
to see what they're going to do.
Yeah.
What's their next plan?
Yeah.
Like there's a whole bunch of what like are they gonna I'm kind of hoping they just get some dub and start dubbing around again, right? Like that's what I'm rooting for. Like go back and get Dennis Erickson. You know, I think that'd be a really
yes,
good
may
move
you
for them.
have the dark days. See how many 12s
Yeah.
are left.
Mhm.
Their fans are calling for Dan Quinn to come in.
Oh, that's going to be the I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. The problem is if you do that, then you got to get somebody to be the offensive coordinator for your quarterback, right? And then if your offensive coordinator is good, somebody hires him, and then all of a sudden you can't coach your quarterback anymore because you don't have a good offensive guy, which you
Hey,
just
that's
watched
their
happen to
problems.
Buffalo, right? You know what I mean? And that is their problems. So
Yep.
hopefully they don't try to pilfer anyone from us. Is really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Let's go to that hurry up offense and the 2-minute warning.
Hold on. Bam.
Maddie, go ahead.
Section 125, you do not want to get tickets anywhere else for the divisional game next Saturday, okay? No matter
awesome.
who's playing, you want to be there for the absolute ass kicking that it will be, okay? And the show of dominance and fun. Just look for Niners Northeast on any of the social media platforms, and I'll give you a fair price.
And his tickets are great seats, too, by the way. I can vouch for that.
There are good people around us, too. They tell good stories. Nice time.
It's right by the players' tunnel where they run in and out.
Yep.
Section 125. You
Mhm.
guys don't know? 125 is the place to
Don't
be.
know,
Mhm.
now you know.
Now you
Now
know.
you know. Yes.
Players are here. Just have fun. Enjoy it, please. I can't wait for this thing to kick off and get started. I know I'm going to be watching games just to see who we play, so we can, real football begins again.
Playoff mode is activated. Let's go Niners. Enjoy it, guys. It's a real special season. I think even more special than the 2019 season for sure. But just enjoy it and enjoy the games this weekend.
Yeah, what everyone else said. Go team, get healthy. May the playoff gods give us the right teams that we're going to beat and make it all the way and let this cast of characters that we have on our team who are so deserving get their ring.
And Team Cali, Jim Harbaugh's name is going to be associated with any team.
Any
loses
team
their head
meeting.
coach.
He ain't going to Seattle as long as Pete's there.
Oh, I
Yeah,
would
he's an
agree.
advisor.
As
Yeah,
a-
Yeah.
Pete
Although I
Carroll
wouldn't
is
be
still
shocked.
there.
Yeah,
as
he's
an
still
advisor.
there, just not. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least until somebody wants to hire him, is what I'm guessing.
And shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. As always, we love you guys, and we will see you next week. Go Niners.
Go Niners.
And of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking,